Hi, I'm Dellar Weldon, and we're here at Little Shop of Stories to interview Gordon Korman about his new book, Masterminds, a suspenseful, unique mystery. So, Mr. Korman, what gave you the idea for Masterminds?
Well, I guess I was always sort of thinking that just for my own kids, when they're good, like are they good because they've got it inside, or are they good just because their environment is good and their upbringing is good and they meet good people in their town? So I just started thinking about whether it's sort of your nature or how you're nurtured that makes you good or bad, and I sort of thought, what if some kids, without even knowing it, were sort of caught up in an experiment to determine that?
Well, how did you get the inspiration for Eli and all his technical savvy?
Well, I guess Eli. I mean, the book's told by five narrators actually, but I really wanted one sort of anchor guy, and I guess I had my eye on Eli just because I was sort of thinking about the aspect of what elements of criminal masterminds' personalities would sort of come up as kids, as these kids were growing up, and I just sort of thought, like, if you have a talent as a tech wizard, and you suddenly found out that you were cloned from a criminal mastermind, what would you think it came from? Who would you look for? Because all these kids start to sort of question their own talents. If you're the fastest runner in your grade, suddenly you're thinking to yourself, am I fast because I'm fast, or am I fast because I'm an exact genetic copy of some guy who ran away from the police? If you're awesome at video games, is it because you're awesome at video games, or is it because you're great at that driving game because you're cloned from the getaway driver from a gang that robbed banks or something like that? So I really wanted the kids to have these special talents that they would question about themselves, since they know they're exact replicas of criminal masterminds, but they don't know who.
That's interesting. Who is your favorite character in Masterminds and why?
Well, I have to confess that the most fun character to write was Malik. And I really wasn't expecting it that way, but I think that just the idea that there's someone who doesn't buy into like the Serenity miracle. A tiny little town can't hold him. He doesn't love the honesty, harmony, and contentment. The sweetness and light just doesn't suit with him. He finds everything too boring and too confining. So Malik was probably the most fun of the narrators to write.
He's also my favorite.
Cool.
So, you've written a lot of series. Why do you do so many with the same characters instead of just one?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of known for it by now, but sometimes a series will be like always designed to be a series. Masterminds was always going to be a 3-book series. The Hypnotist was always going to be a 3-book series. But Swindle was never supposed to be a series. It was actually just a one-off novel, and everybody liked it, so I wrote another one. And now we're up to like 7 Swindle books, and there's probably going to be one more after that. But it was never really intended to be a series. So I mean, I definitely do love series, but sometimes, even when I try to write not a series, it ends up being one. I guess readers love series these days.
They do. Do you have any advice for kids who would like to be writers?
Well, besides read a lot, and you're here, so I'm assuming you kind of don't need that one. But I would say make writing a part of your life. Something you do every day or almost every day. And it doesn't matter what kind of writing. I mean, you can blog, or you can, write in a notebook or keep a diary, but I don't do any of those things. Really, I'm constantly working on a project. So long as you're writing most of the time, like almost every day, and it's not this rare, once-in-a-lifetime thing, I think you'll become a great writer.
Well, thank you, Mr. Korman, for coming to Little Shop of Stories today for this interview. I'm Dellar Weldon. Bye.
And I'm Gordon Korman. Thank you so much for having me.